In this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the new 8-piece Icon Professional Mechanic screwdriver set that's being offered from Harbor Freight. Now, I was really excited to actually get my hands on a set of these because I've seen the pictures and I've heard about them, but they just haven't been available to me here locally till just the last few days. So I ran over there, picked up a set because I wanted to be able to go through them, test them out, review them, share those results with you in case you're looking to get a set for your toolbox. But I'm also looking to get a new set of screwdrivers for mine as well. Now, I have quite a few Harbor Freight tools. As you see, I even have a few of their toolboxes, and they've done great for me. However, this is my first dive into their Icon Professional Series tools. So I'm really anxious to actually get my hands on them, test them out, see how well they work, and share those results with you. But as always, what I like to do, I like to start with just the general packaging, some of the features and benefits they have listed on the outside, and then dig into the inside. So let's get started. So looking at the general packaging of our new screwdriver set, you know, these icons, all of their icons, be it the ratchets, the wrenches, whatever, their packaging is just top notch. You can always tell that's definitely their professional grade. And it's a real nice packaging, real sturdy box and everything that's there. If we start up here in the top right-hand corner, here it mentions we have the part number, which is SD-8. It also lets us know that we have an 8-piece set here, and once again, it's the Icon Professional Mechanic screwdriver set. Down here on the lower right-hand corner lets us know it does have the Icon lifetime guarantee. And over here on the bottom left-hand side, it just gives you an idea of what's included in the set. For example, you have the 1/4 inch by 1.5 inches, you have the 3/16 by 3 inch, you have the 1/4 inch by 4 inch, and the 5/16 by 6 inch in your slotted screwdrivers that will be here. And then in your Phillips screwdrivers up here, you have a number 1 by 3 inch, you have a number 2 by 1.5 inches, you have a number 2 by 4 inch, and a number 3 by 6 inch, and those are the ones located up here. The sides of the packaging are just more for marketing, and they look really good. If we go here to the back side, on the top right hand corner, we have our part number again. If we drop just below that, it lets you know that a premium storage tray is included. So the nice tray that your screwdriver set comes with, that the screwdrivers are sitting in, is also designed to go into your toolbox and be the storage compartment for your screwdrivers as well. So if we go back over here, mentions our product again, and then here we have, it has precision machined magnetic tips and reinforced shank with a hex bolster. We'll start down here on our left-hand side. It has precision machined magnetic tips for a perfect non-slip fit and added control. It has wrench-ready bolster on the shank for high torque applications. Has an oversized ergonomic design that delivers secure grip, increased torque, and maximum comfort. If we go down over here, the tip type is printed on the handle for easy identification, as well as we have a chemical resistant handle for extended tool life. Mentions once again that we also have our lifetime guarantee and that the product is actually made in Taiwan, not in China. So this here is our packaging here. I just thought I'd go through, give you an idea of your box here that you're going to be getting. Now I'm excited. Let's get inside of this and let's see how these screwdrivers are. So let's get these here out of the tray. By the way, this tray is really nice. It's a good, thick, sturdy plastic that's going to fit nice in my box. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, but it's really nice that it comes with that. And it's not that really thin type. I'm really pushing hard on here. A lot of your tools, when they come with those, you push on them and it collapses. It's a real nice, thick, sturdy plastic tray that it comes with to be able to store them in your toolbox. So we're going to start here with the number 2 with the 4-inch shaft on here, and just get it out and let's take a bit closer look at it. Hopefully you can see it here. One of the first things I notice with it that makes it vary and differ from, say, the Matco, the Snap-on, the Cobalt, or the Husky is that it has these raised areas right in here. It has 3 raised areas that actually allow you to get a grip and to be able to add more torque onto it. Now for me, what's comfortable is I'm putting this one raised area pretty much like right in the creases of my fingers, if you will, right here, and it makes it comfortable, and it kind of gives me something to be able to push on too with the tips of my fingers, and then my thumb is resting like right in here, and it fits real comfortable in my hand. With the length of the handle, it fits through the entire grip of my hand, and that will enable me to be able to get more grip and to be able to put more torque on the fasteners as I'm either loosening or tightening them, if you will. Now, you may have noticed, and we talked about it before, it does have the identification on your end caps, which is a real nice feature to have. Depending on how you store your screwdrivers, if you have the little slots in your box and you store them in the upright position, it's nice to know which screwdriver you're grabbing, so you don't have to take them out, look at the tip, and put them back in and go through them. You automatically know what you have on there. Now, the one thing too that I noticed, this is a two-piece molded handle that we have on here, but with this rubber that it has a good grip to it. So once I get it oily or I get some grease on it as I'm working, it's not going to slip out of my hand. I'm able to keep a good strong grip on it, and I like having that feature available with it as well. My thumb fits in a real nice location. It feels real good in my hand. I'm able to get a lot of torque on it with it as well. Now, as we move further down on the shaft of these screwdrivers, it does have this bolstered cap here on the end with it, and what I like about that is if you have a fastener and you're having to put pressure but then you can't quite get enough torque, you can take like a wrench and you can put that on there to get that additional torque to actually be able to loosen your fasteners. And that's just a real nice feature that you have that is available with these. And as we go down, the tip of these look beautiful, and I'm going to give you a more up close shot with them, but these are magnetic, and I'm going to move this here off to the side here, our tray, just to give you some ideas. And I have some screws I brought down just so we can test them, but as you can see, that has plenty of magnetic ability to be able to actually grip and hold on to your fasteners. And I really like that, because how many times when you're trying to put a screw in, you want to put it on there and you got to reach back in there to get it into position to be able to tighten it, and it's so frustrating when you're trying to keep a finger on the end to get it in there. The magnetic tip is something that's just a huge benefit to be able to have that on there. And the webbing on, on the Phillips looks really good on there. It's a nice strong, and it fits well into the head of the screw, so I'm able to actually get a good grip on the screw and be able to hold it in there. You can see that's holding onto it really strong, and I'm not going to have an issue with it dropping the screw, and that's something that's really important to me as I use that. But as you can see here, a nice strong tip that's able to hold our fastener on there, so we're able to get it into place. I thought I would give you an idea just with some comparisons of some other screwdrivers that are out there, and these here are much more expensive than the Icons. If we take a look, our handles here are about the same. The Icon's going to be a little bit longer, and the diameter of our handles is going to be about the same. The diameter of the shafts is virtually identical there, and they both have the bolstered screwdriver. The bolstered shaft, I'm sorry, there at the end by the handle. Difference being these run about 4 times the price of the Icons. Now here we have the trusty snap-on that I have here. The handle is not nearly as long as we have with the Icon. However, the shafts are going to be the same diameter, and it does have the bolstered base. Here's a set of Cobalts that I have in my box, and the handle once again is shorter on this one, same diameter on the shaft as well with the bolstered handle, so it's really comparable with that. And then last but not least, these here are what I have primarily in my toolbox right now. As you can tell, I also have the snap-ons and the Matcos, but I use these a lot, and these are the Huskies, and these are what my Icons are actually going to be replacing. And these have done okay. However, the handles get real slippery when they get oily on them. It doesn't have the bolstered base there, but it does have like the squared shaft on it. So if you really wanted to, you could get a tool on it. I just prefer the bolstered shaft for myself on there, but once again, we can test there. handles are real close, but once again the icon takes the win on that, and the shaft is a bit harder to compare because it's square, but they're virtually identical. The difference being this is a squared shaft where the icon has the rounded shaft. Now if we go ahead and let's get the rest of the set of the Phillips out here. Now here we have the number 1 Phillips here, and the tips on these look great. Here we have our stubby, if you will, and I'm going to set these here off to the side, and I brought down, just for example, this here is my snap-on stubby that I have here, so you can definitely see the difference here in the length of the handles. Now this is a catch-22 because occasionally you are going to have those spaces that's really tight, and you're going to want to have the smallest handle possible to be able to get to the fastener. However, the length of the shafts is virtually identical. The icon's just a little bit longer by maybe about 1/8 of an inch, but on the handle, it's going to run about 1 inch longer. And once again, that's a double-edged sword. Now, the one thing I run into, like with the snap-on, if I hold it in my hand so you can see here, it doesn't even really go underneath my middle finger here. So it's kind of harder to get a grip on it to be able to get any kind of torque to loosen a fastener. Most of the time you're holding it just like this, where it's basically your index finger and your thumb. Now that a lot of times will give you the grip that you need. However, when you have the longer handle, that actually goes down to my third finger, where I'm actually able to get a grip on it, and having those raised ribs once again on the handle make it easier for me to get a grip on it and to be able to turn it. However, it is a bit longer. Another thing too that I really like about having these triangle design with the raised ribs is if you drop the screwdriver, it's not going to roll off and go somewhere where you got to chase it down. It's actually designed where it'll kind of stay where it's at. I kind of run into that sometimes with these Huskies, although they are kind of a octagon shape, if you will. They do tend to roll away on me, and that kind of can get frustrating. You had that same issue here with the Matco. It is also a triangle, but it's not really as prolific, if you will, as the icon, so they do have a tendency to roll off. You have a comparison there on the stubbies, but here we'll just go through so you can get an idea and see these side by side and get a better look at them. Let me move these off here out of the way. Up to our number 3 here, and once again, just a nice thick sturdy handle. It feels great in my hand. I'm able to get a good grip on it, and this one here actually goes all the way through just because of the size of the screwdriver, and it does really well. And let's just test that there. Once again, you got your magnetic tip on there, so it's able to go ahead and grab your fastener and hold on to it while you go ahead and put it into position. Boy, you saw it there. It just it even slid right up there to the tip. Good strong magnetic tip on those. I like having that feature that's available for me to be able to use those. So there we have our Phillips, and now we'll go over here to our slotted screwdrivers, and we're going to go with just the 1/4 inch on here. And once again, just beautiful on this. The handle fits great in my hand. Basically, it's going to be the same as your number 2, the only difference being this one's slotted as opposed to a Phillips, but it fits great in my hand. I'm able to get a good grip on it. We also have here, this one here is our 3/16. We have our 1/4 inch, that's our stubby, and then we go all the way up to our 5/16 with the 6-inch shaft. And once again, even on our slotted screwdrivers, they have that magnetic tip, as you see on here, that it's able to hold on to our fastener, so that way we can just use that in more locations and have less frustration while we're using it. Well, I got these out, by the way. This here is our case, and once again, boy, that thing's just nicely made. I can barely like twist that thing. It's just great. I really like it. It's well made. Probably use that there in my box. So now that we've gone over and we've got a just good overview of how these are and what's involved with the handles and that, let's get them out in the garage and let's test them out on a few screws and see how well they work. So next I wanted to do a quick test to be able to see what kind of torque I'm able to get with these Icon screwdrivers and get a feel for the grip in my hand while I'm actually using it to drive a screw in. So I'm going to get my trusty number 2 here, and I got a 2x4. I did go ahead and drill some very small pilot holes here because I'm going to just take some 5.5 inch gold screws. I want to drive these into here so I can get a good feel for how this is going to grip in the head and how I'm able to get a grip on to the screwdriver itself to be able to drive the screws in. So let's get started. One of the things I've noticed as I switch to this style of grip, because I'm able to put pressure on it. Now you can see the screwdriver holds so well into the fastener, I'm actually able to take my hands off. But one of the things I like is I can put pressure down with this hand, and with those raised areas, I'm able to get a really good grip on the head of that screw to be able to drive that down in there. Now that we're getting down to the base, I'm going to drive it a bit more. I want to see how long that this screwdriver is actually, boy, and that thing's just held right in there, and see how far we can drive that before we either break the screw or it finally strips out. But you can see that screw's going way down inside the wood now. And we just broke the head of the screw. So that was able to get a really good strong grip, as you can see, and drive that thing down in there. So once again, let's move on to the next one. And boy, that magnetic tip really comes in handy. I'm able to go ahead and just line that up. And I'm going to move over here to the other side so I can try it just from a bit of a different angle. And we're going to set it in like this, so it's going to be more of a using the handle as you see here. And once again, I'm able to grab it. My thumb fits in really nice between these grooves right in here, and I'm just able to continue to move and grab and move and grab. And the one nice thing I like is it's not falling out. A lot of times when you're using a screwdriver, it doesn't want to stay in the head of the screw, and it makes it difficult for you to be able to move your hand. As you can see, I mean, I'm barely touching it, and it's holding into the head of the screw, and I'm able to just keep right on driving that right in, and I have good torque. I mean, this thing's going right down in there. And it just drives it right in. Let's see if we can do the same thing again and break that, or if it's going to go all the way through. I think we're just kind of driving it through the board. I would say that's pretty good torque, considering we just drove that screw way down in there. It's even sticking out here on the other side. This screw doesn't seem to want to break. I think if I kept going, I could actually just drive that screw through all the way through to the other side. But once again, the grip on that thing is amazing, and how I'm able to get a hold of it and to be able to do it. We're going to do one more. And you see, once again, it just holds on really well. And we'll go ahead and just line that up and start driving that in. What I'm anxious to see when we're done with this is what the tip actually looks like on our screwdriver. But once again, I'm just barely holding onto it, but it's staying in the head of the screw. And I really like that it sticks in there, and it makes the job so much easier. It's not sloppy, as you see. Not one time as I've done all of these has the screwdriver popped out of the head and strip that head out. In fact, in one it broke the head because it had such a grip, and on this one it's driven it almost halfway through the board just by doing it by hand. And here we go again. I got it right down where it's a nice tight. If I was wanting to do some finish work, you want it to be nice and level. Did a beautiful job. I'm not sure if you can see the head of that screw on there, but no damage whatsoever to it. I mean, it fits in there nice and tight. So here you can get a better up close shot. You see that one's way down in there, drove it in, and then the one to the far right there is the one we broke the head on because I was able to get so much torque on it. I'm going to go ahead and try this one a little bit more just for curiosity's sake. And it's doing pretty much the same thing as the one next to it. We're just driving that thing right through the wood, as you can see there. So it maintains its grip. On to number 4. And there we go with that one as well. Same thing, just drives it right in. This screwdriver continues to just hold on tight and drive that in there. And now we'll do our 5th one. Boy, I really like those raised ridges when I'm doing it this way. It's just so easy to grab onto, and it just gives me plenty of torque. And once again, it maintains and just drives those all the way in there. Thought I'd provide you more up close of the screws that I drove in here. Now that one on the far right is the one that snapped the head off from just all the torque we were able to put on. But the other four, as you can see here, the heads look great. It didn't strip out the heads at all, and we were able to drive those way down into the wood, and it had just plenty of torque to be able to do that. Now that we've driven in all 5 fasteners, I thought I'd give you an up close shot of that tip now after doing that. And it still looks great. Let's try out our number 3 Phillips head on a few fasteners here on my snowblower to see how it grips. Now, one of the things I noticed, just like with that number 2, when you put it in there, it gets such a good grip on the head of the screw, it just stays right there in place. But let's go ahead. No problems whatsoever. And it's nice because in a situation like this where I'm using it, my fingers are able to grab onto those ribs, and it just makes it so much easier to be able to work that out. Wow, that's a long screw that they have in there. I'm going to just set it back down in there because we're going to tighten it back up. And once again, same thing, just brings those right out. And you'll see the screw, now it's loose naturally, the screw is in the hole, but you'll see the screw just continues to hold on to the head. And we're able to go ahead and tighten that back down. Now in the case of this one here, if we were bringing that and drawing that out, you can see the magnet is so strong, it's actually able to pull that screw right out with it. And now I can go ahead and just realign that back up in there and tighten it back down. So what's our verdict when it comes to the new Icon mechanic screwdriver set? Well, I gotta tell you, I really like this set. It fits really well in my hand. I'm able to get a really good grip on it, whether I'm able to work it, you know, sideways like this, or whether I want to push down on it. I'm able to just get really good grip with it, and it fits well in my hand. The ergonomics is great. I really like that with this screwdriver. Having the rubber design with it means I can get a good grip when it gets some oil on it or grease on it while I'm working on things, and I do like that. I like the indicator that they have on the cap, so I know which tool I'm grabbing, and I don't have to take it out and look and see, and just saves time, makes life a little bit easier. And that's what we're all looking to do. You know, the tip is great on it. It held great onto all the screws I tried it on. In fact, we even broke a head on one as we did it. I like the shaft being bolstered there up by the handle, so I'm able to actually get a tool on it and get a grip and add more torque to it. And so all in all, I just think it's a fantastic tool. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be cleaning out the screwdriver door here in my toolbox. I got to get rid of the Huskies and replace them with my Icons here. Now, the only thing I really wish I'd like to see them possibly do in the future is maybe add an additional set that has the smaller size in it. And I'm willing to bet they'll be coming out with that. And when they do, you know I'll be buying a set of those. So hey, I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, please do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It just lets YouTube know that y'all appreciate my content. If you'd like to see more videos like this one in the future, hit that subscribe button and stick around with me here in the garage. As always, I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks for watching.